Yo, what's up, you guys? What is happening? It is Garrett Fankhauser with FFLfunnels.com here. Today, guys, I have something cool that I want to run by you, which is why we are here. First of all, if you're watching this live, one, I appreciate the fuck out of you for being here and dedicating some of your time to hanging out with me. If you guys are watching live, please do me a huge favor and comment live in the comments. That will get more people here. Make sure more people see this. If you're watching this on a replay, you can type in replay in the comments as well, whether you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. It just helps put this in front of more people, right? So today, what I'm going to cover for you guys, give me a second. I will share my screen. Let me get my Zoom all dialed in over here, make sure that I'm in the right one. And of course, so give me a second and I'll just find it over here. We'll move to Miro. Cool. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about today, this is something that I've been coming across quite a bit frequently that you guys are dealing with. And this is something that we used to offer, right? So I don't want to necessarily say that like this is a bad thing to do. When we used to offer this, it was like the best thing to do at the time, the best thing that we could offer for a budget package. But we're not doing this anymore. And I want to explain to you guys why. And I want to explain to you why you guys probably shouldn't do this either, right? I'm not going to pull up people's websites and run through their data and stuff on this one. I'm just going to kind of like tackle this at its core. But what I want to walk through with you guys is 3 reasons not to link your custom site to your store on a subdomain, right? So many of you guys are probably familiar with this, and most of you are probably doing this where not most of you, but some of you are probably doing this where you have your main website, right? So this would be like a custom WordPress website where you have, information about your business and photos and, your custom work and all of this other stuff, right? And then when somebody clicks shop, then it goes to like a subdomain, which would be like, let's say that your website is, bobsguns.com. It would be like shop.bobsguns.com, right? That's called a subdomain. It's a partition of your main URL, right? And again, just as a caveat, we've done this before. So like it is helpful, but there are drawbacks to it. And I want to help you guys figure out how to fix this so that we can fix the source, right? This is the number one thing that we really want to fix here is to actually fix the source. Because what doing this is just a band-aid and it's not really going to help solve most of your guys' problems at this point, right? So to get started, what I want to cover is the main thing that's a pain in the ass when you do this is it makes it really hard to track your data properly, right? And so what I mean by that is when we look at like Google Analytics, let's say that we have a WordPress website on one side, and then we have a core site on the other side, or an Ammo Ready or a Gearfire or whatever it is, right? And they're both connected through like a shop button, right? People click shop or whatever, and they go to the subdomain. This makes it really difficult to track analytics because then you have to track analytics in 2 different places and you have to track them 2 different ways. So for example, your primary website is probably going to have like Google Analytics tags installed, right? And so we can figure out like what people clicked, where they saw it, what website or forum or social media channel that it came from, and the people went to the website. And then we can see the attribution data based on like how long that they stayed there, what pages they clicked on, and things like that. Where we lose that is then when somebody clicks into a subdomain, right? At that point, we're at the mercy of whatever that system is on that subdomain. What I mean by that, I guess in other words, what I'm saying is that if like Ammo Ready or Core or whatever doesn't allow you to track like that people came from your website via clicking the shop button, then we lose that data, right? And so data is one of the most important things in this whole aspect, like this whole game, right? It's the same thing as like with you guys with brick and mortar stores, right? If somebody walks into your store, one of the first things that you should ask them is how did they find you? That is proper data that like you guys can use and you can aggregate the answers to that. I would mark that down every single day. everybody that walks into your store, ask them how the fuck did they find you, and write it down. And like, even if you have like a little printout that says like Google, social media, walk in, drive by or whatever, and just check it in there, right? Do the little like the little checks or the little 4 and then the 5 slash across or whatever. That's like, data is so important. This allows you to manage your business properly, your marketing, your sales, everything, and understand where people are coming from, how they're finding you, and how much they're spending, and how many different things they're buying per order, and how to get them to come back. All of this stuff comes from this data. So if you guys can't track this data properly, this is something that I suggest is not something that I would recommend doing anymore. Right? At one point, I would have recommended this based on your budget, right? Caveat here, this is all based on your budget, right? The only time that we ever did this was when people didn't have enough of a budget to actually do something completely custom and dialed in, right? We now have something that is completely custom, but it's a custom template and it's at a lower budget and things like that. So many of you guys can actually take advantage of just fixing the source instead of having to go this route based on having a low budget, right? So let's move on to the next one. Number 2, lose trust with buyers, right? So I should have brought up an example for this, and I don't want to do it right now, but if you can imagine that somebody goes to a nice custom website that has all the information about your business, it's got photos of you, the staff, maybe your work area where your gunsmithing stuff is, maybe some of the Cerakote work you've done, maybe a map of how to find you, and like all this cool stuff that you guys have, right? And all about the business, and then they click shop and it takes them to a standard ass Gearfire page that looks and feels exactly like everybody else's. Like literally, if you're on a Gearfire page, and this isn't just to shit on Gearfire because this is most of those platforms, but like the only way to tell is like the logo in the top corner. How do I know if I'm on your website versus like some other guy's website or 10,000 other people's websites? Is like the logo in the corner, right? So if somebody isn't paying attention to the logo in the corner, they could be shopping somewhere that they're not expecting it. What this does is this causes a lack of trust with buyers because, guys, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid in thinking that your customers are stupid, right? Most of these people have been to more than one website before, right? Even if they're, kind of backcountry folk that don't use technology very much, they still know how to fucking get to a website, right? They type in guns in Google and there's guns that show up, right? Like there's websites that show up, and they go to different websites. Once they've seen 5 or 6 Gearfire websites, they're going to remember it, right? And they're going to see it over and over again. And so when you do this and you have your store connected to your main website, you're going to lose trust with buyers, right? And this is going to prevent you from making as many sales and collecting as many leads as you could, right? This is chopping away at your absolute potential for generating increased cash flow for your business, right? So the third and most, in my opinion, this is kind of like the most important one. Let me see if I can highlight it, make it look fancy for you guys so that that's not a good color. Let's do blue. Let's do some FFL Funnels blue. That's kind of green or whatever, but turquoise. This is one of the biggest ones right here. So what happens is your subdomain is going to have completely different and disconnected SEO than your primary domain. So one idea is that this generates local traffic and this generates national traffic. So this generates traffic for like e-commerce keywords like part numbers and things like that. This generates traffic by local stuff, right? So long tail keywords that include like your city name or near me or a zip code or whatever it is, right? That's how we've built these in the past, right? That was our primary focus, was to make sure that this did national keywords and this did local keywords. And that is one way that you can kind of get this to work, right? The problem is that this SEO is completely disconnected from this SEO because it's on a subdomain. Even though it's still connected to the primary domain, they do not feed each other properly, right? So in other words, you can do all the work you want on the main website, but if people aren't clicking shop and going to your store, you're going to lose them. You can do all the SEO in the world on here, but if people aren't able, like if this isn't able to rank because it's on a subdomain, if it's not able to rank properly, and people have to go through here, but they're not able to find here because, the store is, it's not, this isn't showing up for ecom keywords, then it's just a whole fiasco. It makes things harder, right? So this is one of those things where when I say fix the source, what am I talking about here? I'm talking about fixing the platform that you're using, figuring out like what it is that you actually want. So most of the guys that I talk to, and this might be you guys or not, if you're listening or watching or whatever, if you guys are and you're commenting and stuff, I appreciate it. I can't read it because I'm watching this screen. Most people that I talk to, here's the deal. They say, I'm the only worker, or I'm one of the only people here, and I don't have a lot of time. I'm making decent cash, but I'm not making as much as I want to. I want to make more cash so that I can hire more help to delegate some of my time away, right? So I'm not working 24/7. So I can spend time with my family and kids and stuff like that on the weekends, right? So most business owners that I talk to want to hire more help so that they have more time. They want to grow their store, whether it's a new location or just adding more inventory and things like that. And they legit just want something that is worth like showing up to every day, right? They want something that they can build and give to their kids, or they can build and sell down the road, or do this as a retirement gig and things like that, right? So what I'm saying here, guys, is that if that's kind of where you're at and your budget is really holding you back from doing what you need it to do as far as fixing the source, it's going to hold your whole plan back, right? Most of you guys are already strapped for time. So if you don't fix the source, right, being the actual store itself, it's just going to make it a longer period of time that you are like not having the things that you want, right? And so what do I mean when I say fix the source, right? I mean that you want, like, the whole goal of what we were trying to do here, that most people are trying to do, is you wanted something completely customizable, right? You wanted something like this that you could completely customize. You could do whatever you want. You could make it the colors and look and photos and blog and everything that you were trying to do, right? And showing up for local keywords. And then over here, you wanted all of the stuff like the drop shipping, being able to add your own inventory, being able to collect leads, being able to process payments, being able to, accept FFL transfer stuff, being able to display your services and prices and have, automation and these type of things that make your life so much easier as a gun dealer, right? So the way to do that is to put a system in place that does both, right? Now, this looks terrible because I just stacked these on top of each other, but I hope you guys get the whole concept that, like, you guys can have both. You can have something that does both, right? And so for those of you guys that I've talked to recently about our new Charlie package, this is what we have done, right? We have literally taken both of those systems and put them together in something that's budget priced. Most of you guys can afford this. And the whole concept behind this is you get all of the 100% flexibility, the control, the customization, the SEO capabilities, right? You guys can actually rank and show up for the keywords that you're looking to show up for. And so that's what I mean when I say fix the source, right? I mean, putting something together that does both of this in one location, right? To where you guys don't have to like have this struggle between these two websites that you have that don't connect and work properly, right? So again, the reason that I'm bringing this up, mostly because I had a call with a guy yesterday, and then I actually talked to somebody today that was asking me about doing this. And I just wanted to like walk through this with you guys on why at one point that this was a good thing. Like it can work, but why now that my opinion is that this is something that's going to hold you guys back significantly, and I don't recommend doing this anymore, right? And these are the three primary areas, the three primary reasons why not, right? So I hope this is helpful for you guys. I appreciate you guys for hanging in here and watching. I'm not sure if any of you guys are. Looks like there's a few of you. I'm going to sign off here. looking forward to chatting, with some of you guys and things like that, hearing kind of what's going on, where you're at with your business, and how this stuff has been helping. So if you have any questions or need any help or anything like that, feel free to shoot me a DM on Facebook. I'd be happy to chat with you to see if there's anything I can do to kind of help you out moving forward from here. Cool. All right, I'm out, guys. I got a call to jump on here pretty soon. I'll catch you later. Bye.